The final type of mapping approach that we'll cover in this tutorial involves plotting elevation data. There are a lot of different ways to do this in R, including making 3D renderings, but one of my favorite and one of the most straightforward ways to do this is create what's called a contour map. Contour maps use contour lines, which are old cartography techniques that use line spacing and shaping to denote elevation changes on a flat two-dimensional surface. One benefit to working with elevation data in R is that there are a number of dedicated R packages that allow you to gather elevation data from anywhere in the world. Like OpenStreetMap, we can use administrative boundaries to define exactly where we want to pull elevation data from. We can use the same R GeoBoundaries package to get the administrative boundaries for Switzerland. But this time, unlike in the previous section, we're just going to get the overall country boundaries rather than the regional canton boundaries. So if I go over to the script, I'm just going to start off by loading some R packages that are useful when working with elevation data. So the first, I'm just reloading that R GeoBoundaries package, even though we just used it previously. I'm also loading a package called Elevate R or Elevator, which is our crucial elevation data querying package. And then I'm also loading a library called Show Text, which will allow me to pull fonts from Google Fonts and load that into my R workspace and add some fancy text to some of my maps. So I've loaded all these packages, and now I'm going to use the same R GeoBoundaries function, just GeoBoundaries, and within that function, I'm just going to put Switzerland as a string and get that country level data for Switzerland. And I'm just going to save that as an object called Swiss. Like when we loaded the canton boundaries in the previous section of the tutorial, in that case, we had one multi-polygon for each canton. But this time we just have a multi-polygon for the entire outline boundary of Switzerland. And when we examine this administrative boundary data, we see our ever-important variable called geometry, and that defines the geographic boundaries of Switzerland. We can use this in combination with the elevator package and get an elevation information only within these defined boundaries. And so in this case, that would mean that we're getting elevation data for all of Switzerland, but we're not getting any surrounding countries like France or Italy, even though we have this extended mountain range that crosses country borders. Since Switzerland is famous for its Alps, I'm going to save my elevation data into an object called Alps. We'll use a function called getElevRaster from the elevator package to actually pull this elevation data. And we need to define 5 different arguments for this function to get the data that we want. So first, we'll define the locations, which is the Swiss administrative boundary object that we just created. Then we need to define the zoom level, which will range from 1 to 14. You can play around with this to zoom to your liking, but I'm going to use a zoom of 6. We also need to define something called the clip, which is the thing that allows us to use the multi-polygon to clip the returned elevation data. We're also going to set an argument called neg to NA, and we'll set that to true, which will allow the getElevRaster function to change any negative values to NAs. And then finally, we'll define our projection and ensure that our data is in the WGS 84 latitude and longitude coordinates. And I've just included exactly how to define that projection. You don't need to worry about anything more about what all of these parts mean, but that's essentially what we're doing. The other thing to note, which will be shown in a warning message that comes up, is that the elevation will be saved in meters. So using all of this information together, I'm going to use the getElevRaster function from elevator and get the elevation information for my entire boundary of Switzerland. And I'm going to save that as an object called Alps. This will only take a couple of seconds to run, but if you increase your zoom a lot, so say you have a zoom of 13 or something, that will take a lot longer because it's getting a lot more precise information. Okay, so from this function, we can see that we now have an object called a large raster layer that our Alps data is saved as. One thing that we want to do is convert this to a data frame and then remove any of our missing elevation values. So we're going to use a version of the as data frame function. So this is something that you'll see comes from a lot of different packages, but in this case, we really want to make sure that we're using the Terra package version of this function because that's designed to handle this large raster layer type of data. So I'm just going to overwrite the Alps object and use my Terra package to specify that I want to convert Alps to a data frame. And I want to also specify an argument of xy equals true. And then once I do that, I now will see that I have an object that has 3 variables and about 101,000 observations. And these 3 variables I want to rename to be my latitude, my longitude, and my elevation. So I'm just going to use the call names function to just change all of the column names all at once. And then I finally want to remove any missing elevation values. So I'm just going to subset this data frame and remove anything that is equal to an NA in that elevation variable. And we'll preview the first few rows of this. We can see that we went from about 101,000 observations down to 56,000. And in the resulting data frame, we have a latitude variable, a longitude variable, and an elevation variable in meters. So we can use this data in combination with a new geom called geom contour and create our contour line map. One thing that we need to specify with geom contour, especially to kind of represent our elevation increase in kind of a fun way, is we need to actually define the vertical height using our elevation variable. And we can color the elevation depending on this height using an argument called afterstat and in parentheses level in the color argument. So as our elevation increases, the color will change in the lines from one color to another. So to build this basic map, we're going to start off by adding a geom SF using our Swiss data frame. So this will just, my apologies, our Swiss SF object. So this will just plot the administrative boundaries for all of Switzerland, and that will just be kind of in the default gray. On top of this, we want to put our geom contour, and we're going to specify that the data will be coming from our Alps data set. Our x will be equal to the latitude, y will be longitude, and our z will be elevation. So that's the height of our contour lines. And then the color, which will be related to the height, we're going to use that afterstat level to increase or change the color of the line depending on the height of the elevation that we're plotting. And then again, because we have a geom SF in there, we need to specify that our coordinates will also be SF. So I'll execute this chunk of code and we can see that we have our nice gray outline of Switzerland and we have our contour lines. So kind of consistent with what we were seeing where avalanches happen, we also see that these are the areas where there's increased elevation or the mountains where these avalanches are happening. And we can see this kind of ridge line of lighter blue as the lines kind of get closer together and lighter in blue color, that these are where kind of the tallest peaks in the Alps in Switzerland are. So we have our basic contour map, and now we can move forward to the final section and learn all about how to further customize these maps, which is arguably the most fun part of map making.